So it looks like we finally know the truth about Marjorie Harvey's cheating rumors because Lori just revealed what really happened.
We're not gonna, go crazy and just make all these bad decisions just because we can, we're still gonna be responsible.
It's been a couple of days since the cheating rumors of Marjorie and Steve Harvey hitting the internet, and their daughter Lori has finally spilled the tea on what really happened. And y'all are not gonna believe the insane things she has to say. Did she just admit that her mom cheated?
But if they are, I really hope that Steve Harvey has a prenup. But right now, rumors are swirling, trending on Twitter, that Marjorie cheated on Steve with his body.
Y'all, I swear every time we talk about Steve Harvey and the drama going on in his family, we realize more and more just how messed up and chaotic things are way behind the scenes. I mean, sure, they like to pose for cute pictures and the gram, but the drama going on is nothing short of insane. I'm talking about telenovela type drama that even the Kardashians would aspire to be. Yeah, things are pretty crazy in the Harvey household, and these recent cheating allegations that were made against Marjorie are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the chaos that's going on. According to the tea being spilled by insiders in the know, Steve's family is currently split in two, with one half being his own 4 biological children and the other half being Marjorie and her kids. Steve is currently caught in the middle of these two groups, but sources claim that he is leaning more and more towards the direction of Marjorie and her kids. But this really isn't surprising to anyone that Steve would pick Marjorie over his own children, because he has constantly made it known that she is his number one. It comes before anybody else, even his own children. In fact, even Marjorie's kids come before his own kids, and it's pretty obvious to everyone who's been following the Harvey family for any time now. Out of all his 7 kids, Marjorie's 3 kids rank as top priority, and Lori comes first. Everybody knows that Lori is by far Steve's favorite, and she can do no wrong in his eyes. And that's what makes this even worse, because she's the one who's airing out his personal business like this. But we're going to get to that drama in a little bit. So like I said, people have always felt like Steve loves Marjorie's kids way more than his own, and he has consistently proved this over and over in the 18 years he's been married to Marjorie. Not only was he responsible for 100% of their bills, but he has also adopted all 3 of Marjorie's kids. Now this didn't make a lot of sense to most people because Marjorie's first 2 kids were grown and legal adults at the time, so there was really no need for them to even be adopted in the first place. But insiders revealed that Marjorie pushed for Steve to adopt her adult children because she knew that they would be legally entitled to a portion of Steve's property if and when he passes. She also made him give her kids his last name because she didn't want them to be linked to their biological fathers. And if you're wondering why, it's not just because Steve's a millionaire with a lot of clout in Hollywood. I mean, that was probably a big part of the reason, but the real story behind this is that her 2 baby daddies were drug dealers who were busted and went to prison. So she wanted to give her children a new slate, and what better way to do that than a millionaire with enough influence in Hollywood to get her kids the careers they wanted. Well, Marjorie didn't have to push much because Steve had been in love with her for years, and he was more than willing to do whatever it took for her to be his woman forever and ever. Now, for those of you who don't know, Steve first met Marjorie in the 90s when she was a guest at a show he was performing at, and he immediately fell in love with her. But he was a broke boy back then, and Marjorie was still with her drug dealer first husband, so she turned him down and told him to get his coins together. Well, he eventually did just that and divorced his second wife to be with Marjorie. Now, like I said, he took her kids in and loved them, making Lori his favorite. Now, there have been speculations amongst fans why Lori is his favorite. Some people think that it's because she's the youngest and therefore the baby of the family. Other people are convinced that it's because of her looks. Now, Lori is gorgeous, and if you don't think so, you probably a hater. And people are convinced that this is why Steve treats her like she's his only daughter. I mean, he even took her on daddy-daughter dates.
On one of our annual father-daughter dates to my favorite Japanese restaurant, and you just started talking to me about guys, and you just told me that you you know, always supported me and you'd always be there for me no matter what, and you loved me.
On the other hand, he didn't even attend his twin daughter's high school graduation because he simply could not be bothered at the time. According to an insider, I went to high school with the twins. They were a few years ahead of me, but people always talked and all eyes were on them because of who their father was. He wasn't present at their graduation. But his favoritism of Lori didn't stop there because he showed her the ropes of the industry and taught her how to navigate and make a name for herself as a Harvey. This explains why Lori is the only one of Steve's children to make a name for herself in the industry, and I have to admit that she is doing really well for herself. Unfortunately, this has caused some drama in the family because Steve's kids still feel a type of way about Lori being the only famous Harvey sibling. According to an insider, he did the right thing adopting Marjorie's kids and loves them like his own, but there's a lot of dissension among the blended Harvey clan. There has unfortunately been some jealousy lingering amongst the siblings over Lori, who's the most famous of all Steve's kids, taking over the spotlight with her high-profile love life. Well, it turns out that Steve's favoritism of Lori has bought him her loyalty. A couple of weeks ago, rumors went around that Marjorie had cheated on Steve with his bodyguard and their private chef. Now, many people believe this because according to Steve, his bodyguard is the one who linked him back up with Marjorie after 10 years. And speaking to People magazine, Steve said,
He told me, look, the only time I've ever seen you happy was when you were with that woman Marjorie. Now before you go and do something stupid and marry another woman, I'm calling her. It was like being reborn. I messed up so many times in my life. She made all the difference. When you're happy at home, you can make a lot of things happen.
people found it weird that the bodyguard was still in contact with Marjorie after 10 years, especially since Steve himself wasn't even in touch with her. So when rumors of her having an affair with the bodyguard went around, people believed it and things got very messy for a good while. And Steve is still recovering from that messy situation, but Steve eventually came forward to deny the allegations.
Before I get started, just let me say, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Marjorie's fine. I don't know what y'all doing. But find something else to do. We fine.
Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Even Marjorie took to her Instagram to deny these and wrote, "My husband and I don't usually stop to address all the foolishness and lies that have been spread about us. However, to whom much is given, much is required. I understand that with my platform comes some sort of responsibility to those who may not be as strong as we are." But according to an insider, Lori believes that there is a huge chance that Marjorie did in fact have a thing for the bodyguard. The insider added that Lori has always given Marjorie's relationship with the bodyguard the side eye and wondered if there was more going on than there was showing, but she eventually decided to mind her business and stay out of it. The insider also added that Lori wouldn't exactly put it past her mother to have a thing with the bodyguard, but she knows that Marjorie would never leave Steve because she loves Steve and doesn't plan on getting divorced for a third time. Another party pretty much said the same thing, but added that Lori doesn't buy Steve and Marjorie's statements because she knows that they are both trying to save face. Plus, neither Steve nor Marjorie exactly came out to say that Marjorie didn't cheat, and that tells us all that we need to know. Y'all, is Lori airing her mom out like that? It looks like she is determined to get her inheritance even if it means throwing her mom under the bus. The streets have been talking, honey, and they're leaving comments saying, "It's hard to believe Marjorie Harvey, Lori Harvey Sr., would cheat with the help." And some people believe that this is Steve's karma coming back to get him, saying, "These alpha males calling Steve Harvey a simp. I would like for them to move with awareness that the dude cheated on all his previous wives. The game just caught up with him and now it's his turn to cry. Marjorie was out here simply doing the Lord's work." And Marjorie cheating on Steve has to be the funniest thing ever because man cheated on his then wife with Marjorie, then he divorced the then wife when you finally made it big. He married Marjorie and adopted her kids, leaving his own. One thing about karma. But do you guys think that Marjorie really cheated, or is this just Lori trying to suck up to Steve? Let me know what y'all think in the comments and then check out this next video.